Welcome back to our series on managing Power Automate Desktop on Windows. In this section, we will be looking at how to register the Power Automate Desktop client to the Power Automate service. This registration will be done using Azure Service Principal without any user interaction. Let's see this in action.
So today we're going to be registering our Power Automate desktop silently with Azure. And in order to do that, the first thing that we need to do is set up a app registration in portal.azure.com. So we'll go ahead and open up our favorite browser. In this case, I'm going to be using Edge. I'm going to go to portal.azure.com. This will take me to my main screen here with all of my services. And in the search resources and services section, I'm going to go ahead and search for app registrations. And once I get this blade open, you can see I already created one, but we're going to go ahead and create a new one. Just click New Registration. We're just going to give it a nice user name. So in this case, we're going to be registering Power Automate Desktop silently. So I'm going to go ahead and call it Power Automate Desktop Silent Registration. I'm going to allow this here to be the single tenant mode only. And then I'm just going to click Register. Then once this opens up, I'm going to take note of the application client ID. So copy that into a Notepad document. The directory tenant ID. And actually, let me open up my other one because I already did it for this one. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy this in. The directory tenant ID. And we're going to set up a secret as well. So in order to create the secret, we come in here and we just say new client secret. And we can set the expiration for as long as we want. I went ahead and set it for 12 months, but feel free to change that as needed. And I just like to give it a very friendly name so I know what it is, and I called it Pad Silent Registration Secret. I misspelled registration, but that's fine. I know what it is. Then just copy the value into your Notepad document as well. So we're going to go ahead and come here and say secret value. And I'm going to paste that here. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is actually go into app registration. We're going to go ahead and click on add a permission. We're going to search for flow service. And we're going to scroll down and make sure that flows read all has been enabled. The next step would be to create the application user itself. Unfortunately, I don't have permissions to Power Automate Desktop, so I had one of my colleagues set this up for me. But basically, you can reference a Microsoft article here in order to follow the steps that you would need in order to create the application user. And the permissions that you'll want to add are the environment maker or desktop flows machine owner permissions when you create the application user. So that's already been done, but we can go ahead and go on to the next step. So once we got all the prerequisites set up, in order to actually join the machine, it's very simple. We just open up command line as administrator. And this is how we would do it on a single computer. If we were using a PowerShell script or something like that, we can, use Intune or SCCM to deploy that PowerShell script as we built the package previously. But in order for testing purposes, I'm going to show you what it looks like on a machine where we run it manually. So the first thing we do is we type in echo, and we type in the secret value that we generated earlier. And then we pipe that into the Power Automate Desktop machine registration command. So we're going to go Program Files, x86, Power Automate Desktop, pad machine registration .silent.exe. We're going to register the application ID, which we generated in the app registration. We're going to say client secret. Since we're echoing the client secret into the command, we're just going to leave this blank and just put in our next variable. We're going to put in the tenant ID. And I'm just going to type in -force to force it to re-register since I've already registered this device before. An optional step would be if you want to change the environment that you're going to be registering in, go to portal.office.com. We're going to go to the Power Automate section. And by default, if we were to provide no other variables here, it would register as the default environment. But I want this one to go to a specific environment. So here under environments, I switch to the environment that I want. In this case, I'm going to be using KMicro Sandbox. And you'll see that it adds an environment ID here up in my address bar. So I'm going to copy this environment ID. And then I'm going to paste it here. And so what this will do is it will register it into a specific environment rather than just going into the default environment. So that's an optional step. Go ahead and click enter. And then what I should be able to do now is come down to Monitor and Power Automate Desktop, go to Machines, and my machine should now show up as an available device. Okay, and there it is. So if I can check here, I can type in host name. I can see that the computer name matches, desktop 70grhli, and it is now showing up in the Power Automate Desktop. So in order to package this, we could use a PowerShell command. In order to copy this, we could use a batch script. And then if we were deploying it with Intune, just like we did before, we would create a script here in our sources directory. We would zip it up, and then we could deploy this as we did the other package.
That's interesting, Thomas. So, would you package up both the registration script and the installation of Power Automate Desktop into a single Intune package, or would there be two separate Intune packages?
I would do it as two separate Intune packages.
Got it.
One which installs, and then one which actually does the silent registration.
Got it. Got it. And once both the packages are installed, and you can follow the ring or the canaries based approach basically here as well, right? You can have canary which are basically installing the desktop client and registering with the Power Automate service. And then as you sort of test this out with a subset of users, then you can roll it out to your
correct. So what I would do if I was doing this is, and I mean, maybe we'll actually make a video, but here in the endpoint manager, I would just do this as a simple PowerShell script. And so I would come into the devices, and I would just go to scripts, and I would upload a PowerShell script here which does the silent registration, and I just call it silent Power Automate Desktop registration. I would convert this into a PowerShell script. Instead of using echo, I'd be using like a get content. And then I would just use this exact command line here, put that in and then I would assign it when you get to that just to the canaries group, right? Then after the canaries have been registered and everything's working, then you assign it to the next pilot users group, and then you assign it to the general availability group. So that's how you would manage that in the ring style deployment, is by using the assignments and assigning it only to those specific users that you want to get registered at that time.
Got it. So this is pretty neat. So it gives administrators a single place like an Intune to package application and roll it out broadly. And then since everything is backed by Azure Active Directory, and either you've created like groups in canaries or users are added to like development groups or test groups, you can manage these AD roles in Azure AD and then sort of assign permissions on who can register the machine or who can share the machine, and sort of have a single point of governance in terms of both deploying and managing Power Automate Desktop with the service
Exactly.
applied. So yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool to see.
Awesome.
Thank you, Thomas, for showing us how to register a machine silently.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much, Pranav.
Thank you for watching this episode on registering Power Automate Desktop with the Power Automate service. In the next section, we'll be looking at how to monitor your Power Automate deployments on Windows.